Let's go. Woo! It's your boy Chatsky. We are going to do another video today. Help educate some people on how some of this stuff works. And we're going to get this thing figured out. And anybody that knows me knows that I put out a lot of content all the time. Streaming, videos, guides, all the fun things we love to do in this game of Rise of Kingdoms because we love playing this game. And with that being said, we need to get some things corrected, and we're going to get into that in a second on telling you the difference between bonus and boost. Okay, if you enjoy the video, if you enjoy any of the videos and content that I do, be sure to throw a thumbs up on them and like them. And if you're not a subscriber, it tells me about 40% of my viewers are not subscribed to the channel. Guys, listen, it doesn't cost you anything. All right. And it really helps out the channel and everything that we are doing. So be sure to do that. Also, join the community by joining my Discord. The link is in the description. Really easy. It's where a lot of these conversations come up. And a lot of our arguments and debates come up. We have a lot of fun with that. But that's exactly how we have this stuff played out. And then we come to put a video together for you and kind of teach you about it. So today, we are going to talk the difference between bonus, additional, and boost. It's mainly just bonus to boost. And let me explain something to you, okay? Because people see this, and when they see it, they just automatically think that this is applied to all skill damage, and then boost is the same thing. But as you can see here, when it says a troop deals 25% more skill damage. We know what skill damage is, guys, right? 25% more skill damage. Anytime you hear bonus or more, that's the same thing, okay? And when you hear this, an extra 35% bonus to skill damage, okay? That's the same thing. Overall, that is a 60% increase or more or bonus to skill damage. Okay, so people have to understand kind of what that means. When you hear the term 25% more skill damage, 35% bonus to skill damage, these are all relatively the same things. Okay, they happen at the beginning of the equation. Just about all of these skill damage commanders, okay, just so everybody understands, just about all of these skill damage commanders have some sort of mechanism for more skill damage. Okay, just with the Dragon of the Desert effect, when it comes to a situation where he's hanging out for 30 seconds, you're gonna get for the first 15 seconds of battle a 30% more skill damage. You see more, okay? So bonus or more, they're the same thing. All right. So with that being said, it's the same thing that has to do with a bonus to normal damage. Okay. When let me see, when you see some of this normal damage increase, there's a smite damage factor, there's an attack bonus, okay? Normal damage bonus, that is not a normal damage boost. It's totally different. I'm gonna give you all the numbers and how this thing works, okay? Where you find boost and where you find it most common is in your inscriptions, okay? This is the wedge inscriptions, and we talked about this. And when you come in here, and you click on something as simple as Intrepid, this Isildir's troop gains a 10%, that's boost to skill damage dealt. That is not 10% more skill damage dealt. It is not 10% bonus to skill damage dealt. It is using the term boost, okay? The details matter in this, and let me help you guys explain. This is what we talk about with boost and why it is infinitely, I'm not gonna say infinitely, why it is so much more potent than just a bonus to skill damage dealt. You can see it in a couple of different facets. I think balance doesn't have that. No, it's got some resistance. But you can see it here, 5% boost to skill damage. So if you have all four pieces of legendary inscriptions like I do, 10% bonus to skill damage, boost to skill damage dealt, 5% boost to skill damage dealt. I don't care about the rest of this stuff. Same thing here, 5% boost to skill damage dealt. That's a 20% boost to skill damage dealt, okay? So let me show you how that applies. All right, this is really easy and really simple, and everybody can take a little screenshot of it and understand it. This is what they're talking about, okay? So as you can see here, I've broken this thing down by 4 different marches when it comes to skill damage, okay? And we have to have a baseline. All right, so on the left of every one of these 4, you'll see a base of 100%. Okay, so any march that does anything, we're going to use a baseline of 100%. So you do 100% skill damage. That's just the skill damage you do. We're going to calculate that at 100%, right? So at the very top, you'll see a Zuge line. Okay, it says 20%. You see a Hermann line that says 20%. Okay, if you look in here, when we try to figure out what's going on with Zuge and Hermann, let's find it, because I've got skill damage bonus, 20%. Okay, so he's got a bonus of 20%. Where's my Hermann? It's around here somewhere. There he is. And this might be a triggered. It's commander's troops attacking another troop on the map. It's AoE skills deal 20% more skill damage. So you're getting bonus and more, okay? So that's basically the same thing. So when you come over here to the actual grid, you're going to see Zuge 20%, Hermann 20%. So total, you'll see there in the pink. And in that second line, it says 140%. Total is 140% when you add up the base of 100, the Zuge of 20%, the Hermann of 20%, you get a total of 140%. Then, over here on the right, you see where it says boost. I'm going to use the 20% model. And the reason why is because it's an easy way to go about it to help explain it. But I use the 20% model because between Intrepid at 10%, Unstoppable at 5% boost, and Hunter at 5% boost, you just get a baseline 20% of the boost. Okay, this is where this applies. All right, because if you see you have a total of 140%, you get a boost of 20%. Your boosted impact is not 20%. It is 28% because you're boosting the total. All right, and then your final boosted total of skill damage translates into 168% of skill damage. That's how that works. If you look at Huo Arthur, same type of deal. Huo has different mechanisms to get you up to 50% bonus or more skill damage. Okay, Arthur has a mechanism to get you 30% more skill damage. That gives you a total of 180%. Okay, and sometimes some of these things are procs. This isn't consistent and constant all the time. Some of these have to do with a proc or a different situation that happens, or your rage is here, or you've been out of your city for 30 seconds, or different ways to look at that. But that's what you look at. 100% base, you have 50% from Huo, Arthur's 30%, total 180%. Then you apply the boost. You have a 20% boost that's coming from the 3 special inscriptions on your wedge. Now that impact is a 36% because you're taking 20% of 180%. That gives you a boosted impact of 36%, and then your total boosted skill damage is 216% when you translate that. Okay, just so everybody understand, boost is very, very potent when it comes to this. Nevsky's probably got the most skill damage boost, right? Or most skill damage bonus, I should say, not boost, bonus at 60%. Now Joan doesn't have any. All right, so that particular march gives you 160%. Well, you add the 20% boost to the 160, that gives you a 32% impact, and then your total is 192%. Okay, and then I just, for test purposes, we did Ragnar CPO. Ragnar has a 15%, that's a proc, okay? And then CPO has a 10%, that's part of his expertise. That's basically giving you a total of 125% bonus or increase to skill damage, 125%. Now we're gonna boost that by 20%. Now that boosted impact is 25%. And then now the boosted total is 150%. That's why it is so vital and important to understand the difference between 25% more skill damage and 10% boost to skill damage dealt. Okay, and so it's very, very important. So we're going to do the same thing. Like if you're a Garrison player, or if you're Luce, you know, Luce's got some mechanisms here. Where are they at? You do this troop does 10% more normal damage. Okay, normal damage obviously enhances smite damage, so 10% bonus to normal damage. See, down here in the preview, the upgrade preview, it says normal damage bonus. Up here in the terminology, it says troops deal 10% more. So more and bonus are the same thing. They're the exact same thing. Okay, and so you get a 10% bonus to normal damage. Okay, well, when you put the arch formation on him and you look at Fearless, that is a gain of 8% boost to normal damage dealt. Okay, so you got to understand, this is why legendary inscriptions are so powerful. Just blasted crazy powerful, is because you're boosting the allotted amount of normal damage you're ramping up. I'll give you a case in point, okay? When it comes to Attila, a lot of people will run Attila SA rallies or Attila Gorgo garrisons. And when Attila rolls this 30% damage, what is that word? Bonus, okay? When he rolls that 30% or normal damage bonus, and you boost that by 8%, I think I've got my inscriptions on Attila. We'll look at it here. Yep. When you boost that by 8%, okay, that's not just saying, hey, it's 38% bonus. No, it is, you're taking 8% of 130%. So that boost applies the same for normal damage as it does for skill damage, because normal damage translates into smite damage. That's how that works. It's the exact same thing for, guess what? The Delta formation. When it comes to combo damage, when you go over here to Flurry, your troops gain 8%. What is that word? Boost to combo attack damage dealt. So any kind of combo bonus or does more combo damage, or 10% more combo damage, 30% more combo damage. Anytime you hear more or bonus, that does not mean the same thing as a boost. Boost is on the back end. So just so everybody understands how that works. And really, it's a component that people just don't get sometimes, and why this is so much more powerful. Now, if you look at this and you look at the rare inscriptions, okay, I know a lot of people will sit here and say, okay, where's it at? Focus Fire? There it is. This is a 4% boost to skill damage dealt. Okay, so you're thinking to yourself, a 4% boost to skill damage dealt. Well, isn't Artisan, where's that one at? I think it's on this one. Is that right? No, I think Artisan might be here. Okay, here it is. So Artisan gives you 3% more skill damage, and then it also adds 1.5% more counterattack damage of all types. 3% more skill damage, you might look at that and say, well, considering the counterattack damage of 1.5%, you know, it's actually better than this 4% boost. That's not the case, okay? Because the boost is more powerful than just saying 3% more skill damage, okay? So people have to understand that. And they've also got to understand this is not just for damage, because damage, you got to say bonus and more is not worth as much as boost. Well, when it comes to damage taken resistance, that's the same thing. Boost and resistance are the same thing. Follow me here, okay? And I'll help you out with this. When you see this, this says increases normal damage resistance. That doesn't mean takes 3.5% less normal damage. It means take all the normal damage less that you do, and then you enhance that with the word resistance, okay? Resistance is very, very powerful when you talk about this, okay? There's a couple of these things. When you see here that says the Yldr's troops takes 2% less damage, okay, 2% less damage while garrisoning. Let me come over here to this one. Where is it? Where is it? I had it. There it is. 2% less damage while garrisoning, okay? When you look up here, there's a boost to shields. Rounded is a damage resistance, okay? You're noticing that this is on the emblem. This is where you see all the boost stuff. Well, when it comes to Hollowed Square, it's giving you the term resistance. Okay, damage resistance, it goes at the back of the equation, just like I showed you with boost. Anytime you see resistance, normal damage resistance, skill damage resistance, all damage resistance, that enhances not only your regular skill damage that you take, it also enhances that, plus your less skill damage. So remember I said more and bonus is an amplifier to the base, and then boost is an amplifier to everything. It's the same thing with this. Okay, when you hear less, you take less skill damage, you take less all damage, you take less normal damage. That is the same kind of thing as a bonus or more. And then resistance is the same thing as a boost. That's why it's so important. And this is what players don't know, but that's what we wanted to talk to you about and help you understand. So you could understand the difference between bonus and more, okay? And then you could understand bonus and more and then boost, okay? That's why when you say boost, it's off the charts. It's amazing, okay? Over here, when you say For the first 15 seconds of combat, their troops deals 30%. What's that word? More. Okay. Bonus and more are the same things. And then boost is an amplifier to that. So with that being said, it's all about the guides, guys. It's all about understanding how you set up these guides, commander guides and mechanism guides and different things that we have, and understanding how the game works. And so you take a little bit of that information and you share it with the community, you talk about it and understand it and help players get better at this. You will sound like a genius when you go into your alliance or you go into your kingdom Discord and you say, guys, it's a 4% boost to skill damage. And everybody's like, well, that's not that much. No, a 4% boost to skill damage, when you look at this overall, is a lot, even though it's on like Focus Fire. Let's go find that one. 4% boost to skill damage, that's fantastic. If you don't have Intrepid, get Focus Fire. Okay, and I've gone through like all my wedge stuff. When I rank my wedge inscriptions, Focus Fire sits right there underneath Intrepid. That's why Intrepid is so freaking good. 10% bonus to skill damage, or I'm sorry, 10% boost to skill damage. It's off the charts. It's amazing. So with that, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Throw a thumbs up on it, like it. Got more content coming for you this week. Got more this weekend. We're gonna have a lot of fun today, and hopefully you learned a little bit. And if you did, throw a like on it. Consider subscribing. Doesn't cost you anything, and it really, really helps the channel. And from there, you guys have a great day, broskies.